You need to be as difficult as possible to attain. Nothing this man can do will...
You're gonna find the person that can do the most for you, that's the best fitting for you. Exactly. What can a man do for me?
Are modern women's dating standards so high? Well, let's find out.
Men love a challenge, and the first thing you need to understand about that is he should not be challenging to you, you should be challenging to him. You're not being difficult, you're being hard to attain. Hard access. He doesn't just come to you. You would not just go into the White House straight up, okay? Like, there are security measures, there are protocols, and that should be with you.
A woman can do that to a man to a certain extent if she doesn't have any history. And even then, there's a limit to what she can do.
Now let's get to the fun part, okay? You need to be as difficult as possible to attain. Nothing this man can do will give him full access to you. And even if he gets the full access, it's only for that moment. And then in that moment, you can get up at any point and change your mind. That keeps him behaved.
This is the reason why women are complaining online that men ghost them as soon as they get what they want.
Do you understand? If you think at any moment that the person in front of you is gonna get up and walk out because they're not entertained, you're gonna make sure that you're good at entertaining, okay? That's what it is. That man should always entertain you. His actions should be generous and kind and loving towards you, and on top of that, you should always be entertained. If you're not entertained, do not play nice.
So guys, when you're getting to know a woman early on in the relationship and you're dating, make sure that there are other girls in the picture so that when you get this type of behavior, you move on and focus on someone else.
I never ever, and I teach my clients this, I coach, to be easy, to be nice. Was that supposed to be funny? If he tells a joke and you don't think it's funny. Was that supposed to be funny? Was that a joke? Yeah. Oh. I didn't find it funny. You're going out on a date, he takes you somewhere, I don't know, he does something at home, whatever. Was that... I'm not entertained. This is really not fun. I'm not having a good time. I think I might just go home. I don't know, I might go take a nap or something. I'm not entertained.
We have a word for that, and that's called ungratefulness. And guys, again, if a woman is attracted to you, she will not play all these games. This is the type of stuff which women do if they don't find a guy, if they're not into a guy for whatever reason and the guy continues to pursue her. You're bound to get this type of behavior.
You can just say it. This is not fun anymore. I'm not having a good time. Oh, well, what is it that you want? Can you do more? Like, what else? What else do you have? It's kind of like when someone gives you a snack and they promised you dinner. You're gonna say, well, do you have more food? I'm hungry. You're saying it like that. Do you have more entertainment? I'm bored.
When I tell you, nobody has raised my standards more than the men I've dated, because I can't tell you how many men I've been dating and they will look me in my face and tell me that they didn't think they had a chance with me.
Men, don't ever tell a woman that you didn't think you had a chance with her. Secondly, never seek validation from your woman, your wife, your girlfriend, because this is what happens. The day she is displeased with you for whatever reason and she disapproves of you in any way, you are going to be shattered. Say, for example, and this happens to a lot of men, the reason why a lot of men are going through hell in their marriages is because they seek validation from their wives. And the day she turns around and says something negative, something nasty, your masculinity will be shattered.
Or if they would have met me under different circumstances, they would never try to DM me or approach me. And now I'm confused because maybe you're onto something. Why exactly am I giving you a chance? If you don't think you're worthy of me, why do I think you're worthy of me? Maybe they're insecure and they have things they need to work on, but still, you bring in very good points to the table here. I also was just single, dating a couple people, nothing exclusive, nothing serious, and one of the guys knew that. He literally told me, like, yeah, what can I do for you? Like, as you're dating, that's fine. You're gonna find the person that can do the most for you, that's the best fitting for you.
Listen, there is no man in this whole world who is going to go to a woman he's in a relationship with and tell her that one day you're going to meet a man who's going to buy you all the things that you want, unless he's not interested in you and he just doesn't have the kahunas to tell you that he doesn't see the two of you being in a relationship long term. He doesn't see you in his plans long term. There is no way a man can tell you something like this.
Exactly. What can a man do for me? That's what you need to be thinking about. What can that man do for you? I'm not going to sit here and talk about provider, blah, 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 blah. That's your own standards that you have to set. What you want in a relationship, that's your business. But genuinely, my standards wouldn't be as high as they are if I hadn't dated the men who didn't think they could date me.
I need a man who's 6'4", tatted, super rich, and obsessed with me. My husband gotta be tall, rich, and loves me. I just want a man who's got a stable job and owns his own house. I just want to date a guy with a job and a car. I just need a guy with a pulse. I found a new hobby. I'm gonna go fight for human rights. I finally found who loves me.
You don't need to lower your standards. Honestly, listen, there's over 1 billion people in this world, right? You can go and find somebody who has what you're looking for. Stop letting society dictate. If you say, oh, this girl is a money-hungry bitch, all she wants is a man to pay her bills, oh, she's this. If you can't pay her bills, leave. There's another guy who does what he's looking for.
And this is the reason why a lot of beautiful women today are single. Because they'll go to a guy and say, you should be doing A, B, C for me. And if you don't do that, I'm going to go and get it from someone else. The guy essentially, if he has some self-worth, is going to tell her to leave. What a woman is doing when she does this is she is putting a gun to your head and telling you that if you don't do A, B, C for me, I'm going to pull the trigger. And long term in a relationship, that's unsustainable. We don't do this and will not accept this. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Essentially, it's blackmail. And you don't want to have anything to do with such a woman.
I feel like we make things harder than it is with fighting online and our opinions and trying to shout on top of each other. If somebody is not what you're looking for, this is the urge to start trying to pinpoint what is wrong with them, because it's actually a reflection of you and not them. That's what they want out of their lives. After all, there are people who wake up in the morning and believe that, you know what, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, I'm Queen Diana. And if they believe it and they think it and they're walking it, who are you to come and tell them that they are not?
A lot of women today in their mid-30s are asking themselves the question, how do I survive from now till my 60s on one salary, given the current economic challenges we have? It has never really been about love. It has been about survival. That is what relationships are. That is what marriage is. And a lot of them today don't have the relationship skills to sustain a marriage long term. This is something women had in the past. Even if you gave them a man who has a great body, 6 figures, and is successful, they would still fail to sustain that relationship because they've not developed the skills that are essential to actually be in a relationship and survive long term.
Okay, one thing about me is I cannot be swayed. I cannot be influenced. Call me stubborn, call me a stubborn Aquarius, whatever you want to call me. I stand in my truth, and no matter what happens in life, I always stand in my truth. Like, I always stay true to who I am.
The men who are masculine, the men who accomplish things and build impressive businesses, etc., and are attractive to a lot of women, will not accept this type of behavior. What they'll do is just simplify things and look for someone who will be on board with their vision, someone who's going to be agreeable. That trait, unfortunately, with women is not attractive to a lot of men, because what a guy is looking for is someone who's going to be on board with his vision. The moment you're not, you just become difficult and he'll replace you with someone who's easier to be with. What a man is leading a relationship is basically a CEO. He wants to implement his vision. And if there's an employee, right, in this situation, it's the woman who seeks to follow him. If the employee is very difficult and will not listen and will not implement the vision, then you move on to the next person.
So nobody can sway me, nobody can change my mind, nobody can influence me to do something that I don't want to do. I am very firm in my boundaries, okay? That is how you need to be in dating and relationships, okay? Because people are going to come in, they're going to wear masks, and they're going to try and play in your face. But you need to be firm in your boundaries, okay? Because if not, you find yourself in a danger zone. And when you're in that danger zone, you are easily manipulated. You are easily exploited, okay? This is a dangerous place to be. You do not want to be there.
Okay, guys, let's talk about it. I feel like it's so weird because a lot of women dating standards are so unrealistic. Like, how do you want a man that makes $1 million damn near a month or a year, a man who's doing this, doing that, bringing so much to the table at such a young age? You got to be 6'5" and just, a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of women don't have nothing going on for themselves as well. So it's just like, you want a man with all these things going on for themselves and you have nothing to bring to the table. You can't cook, you can't clean, you don't make any money, you're literally a thought, and you want a man that's just like gonna bring everything for you at such a young age. Like, I just don't.
Women in the past used to build with men right from the ground until he became a millionaire. And when that happens, he begins to love her for who she is, not for the shell, whether she's attractive, which is why he's able to stay with her long term for decades in the relationship. But if you come later on in the relationship when he's already successful, there is no guarantee, or the relationship is not held together firmly as with a woman who he started with right from the start. It's not possible. And this is the reason why those types of relationships where you come up, it's just basically, it has nothing to do with love. It's now just, a fling.
Normalize leaving a man alone so that he can go back to his type and the girl he can afford. Now, I know some of y'all gonna come in the comments and be like, oh, it's all about money, it's all about this and all about that. Not necessarily. Some of y'all are missing the point. Sometimes about the girl he can afford is not always monetary.
A lot of times women shoot themselves in the foot. The same men they want to attract, these so-called high-value men, they require someone who is pleasant to be around, someone who is a joy to be around. They don't want people who are going to be saying these types of statements like, a man is not good enough for me, etc. And you need to have a certain level of pleasantness to attract these types of men.
Let's unpack this. So sometimes you really do have to leave a man alone because you are just way out of his league. Okay? And you have to let these men go back to the crumbs that they're used to, because you're a diamond, you're a jewel, you're the prize, okay? And you were nice enough to give this man, who clearly was beneath you, a chance. You gave him a chance and he fumbled. Let him go back to his type and a girl he can afford, because he can't afford a woman who is emotionally available. He can't afford a woman who is ready for marriage.
This is a cope. And women tell themselves these types of things whenever they are consoling themselves for, a relationship with a guy which didn't work out for some reason. And if a guy is not proposing, there is something in your personality that stops him from doing that. And the only reason he continues with the relationship is because he wants to string the woman along. Perhaps maybe to continue the physical aspect of the relationship and not have to deal with the long term.
He can't afford a woman who holds him accountable. He can't afford a woman who gives him a time frame for him to make a decision. Otherwise, she's moving on to the next. A lot of men can't afford a good woman, and that has nothing to do with how much money is in your bank account. Don't let that go over you.
Look, ladies, if you really have high standards, you will never have to tell a man. He will already intuitively know. Men can pick up on the fact whether or not women are within their standards fairly quickly. Take it from me, there's zero reason for you to shout your boundaries to the world. A woman with high standards carries herself with such a poise, and she has this energy that just speaks for itself.
Women today believe that they can evolve and turn into something new, and yet still maintain the standards and the dignity that their mothers and grandmothers enjoyed. This is a fallacy and it's a dream. Let's paint a picture. If you have a girl who's generally attractive and you find out she's dated this guy and she also dated another guy, and then there's also this guy who also was involved with her some time ago, plus she's also dated this other dude some time ago. You see that standards basically shift and depend much on how the person has conducted themselves.
It's why I said men will just know intuitively. The girl who's always shouting about how she has such high standards and will never let a man do this or never let a man do that or break this or whatever the heck it is usually the first to break her own boundaries. We all know that girl. A high-value woman and a woman with high standards will not have to tell a man what he did wrong. She will simply leave. The need to chase a man when he pulls away absolutely repulses her. It's not a green light for her to try and prove her self-worth. So if you ever feel like you have to ask a man for princess treatment, you're not acting like a princess. So, be about your business. If he doesn't approach you, it's because he knows that you aren't within his reach. And that's fine because another man will step up to the plate. Just keep doing you.
A lot of women the past couple of years have come out and have been talking about, the increased options that the modern woman has. Men are trash, and they've openly been discussing their relationships online, etc. and all that. A lot of people have seen this as a victory, but I think that could not be further away from the truth. A lot of these relationships which they're engaging in now, yes, they might have options, but they lead to a lot of pain. They lead to a lot of rejection. Look at the amount of women posting online talking about being ghosted by guys, etc. and all that. The online attention women are getting to date does not in any way translate to long-term relationship success and happiness. And this is the reason why you see all this complaining, this talking and posting online. It is a sign of the pain. It's a sign of the hurt. And it's a sign that things are broken.
I don't need a man to open doors for me, but I won't date one who doesn't. I don't need a man to buy me flowers, but I will not date one who doesn't. I don't need a man to provide for me, but I wouldn't date one who doesn't, and more importantly, doesn't want to. Because if somebody's doing these things because they think they should or in order to keep you, but they don't truly want to do these things, further down the line, they will resent you. They will feel some type of way of having to do things, or they'll throw it in your face, and they'll probably stop doing these things once they think they have you. Once they think they've secured you and you're in their life, the effort will slip because it wasn't really real. It wasn't really what they wanted to do. And there are men out there that will want to do these things. Not all of them do, and that's fine. But you don't have to date the ones that don't want.
So what exactly are modern women saying? Is it that they want to remain forever in the market, dating and receiving flowers from men? Or the end goal is marriage, having children and raising a family? Because life is always going to be a challenge. The thing is, we seek to build these relationships, marriage, stable families, so that we can have a shelter from the harshness of life, financial security. So if they want to remain in dating, what is the end goal of that? What does it result in? There you have it. Modern women's dating standards. And if you're still watching right now, I appreciate it. Please leave a like and a subscribe, and turn on your bell notification for next time we drop another video. Take care.